Hello Scentatics, welcome to Fragrance Therapy. I'm your host Alim. Now, the House of Lattafa is one of the most prolific Middle Eastern fragrance houses out there. They're releasing new fragrances at such a rate, it really gets hard to keep up. So what I decided is I'm going to give you a top 5 from some of their latest releases. I'll be sure to do a full top 10 at the end of the year that takes into account like the releases from earlier in the year, as well as the inevitable releases that are on the way before the end of this year. But I still wanted to bring you 5 bangers from recent releases that you could potentially add to your collection. So let's jump in. So I wanted to start with the honorable mention, that's Lattafa's Fakar Platine. Now, this is also a fantastic release. The only reason I kept it off the list is that I've talked about it a ton on the channel already, as well as other content creators have already hyped this up enough. What I wanted to do was dive into some newer releases that may be a little bit less known. So I wanted to first start off with my number 5, which is Sheikh Shuyukh Supreme. Now this is a fresh, yet sweet and creamy fragrance. Now there's no consensus as to what this is cloning. In my opinion, it's not even a one-to-one clone of anything out there. It's rather a blend. I think it's a mix of like 75% JPG Scandal Absolute and like 25% YSL EDP. Now let me start by saying the notes on Fragrantica are completely wrong. On Fragrantica, it says on the top you have saffron, cinnamon, and rose. In the mid, you get caramel, patchouli, and then in the base you get woody notes, vanilla, and amber. Now there is a freshness in this fragrance that are not at all represented in those notes. There is no way that those are 100% accurate. And the strange thing is I can't find any official notes from Lattafa. The listed notes scream like floral gourmand, and this is not that. Now some of the notes are definitely in there. You get some caramel, you get some vanilla, you get some woods, but the top notes, no, those are not in there. This, you get freshness on top from YSL and like that creamy sweetness in the dry down from like a Scandal Absolute. Honestly, I don't know what's going on with Fragrantica nowadays. It's full of like incorrect information, there's tons of bot reviews, and also you can't get 10 seconds in on your phone without you getting some spam. Now the reason this is at number 5 is that while this combo smells really, really great, it's not groundbreaking. It's very mass appealing, it's very easy to wear, but we've been there, we've done that a little bit. You know, it leans summer as well, so it might not be as useful in the upcoming months, but with that sweeter dried down, you could make it easily work in the fall also. You also only get average performance from this one, about 6 hours on skin, definitely a little bit longer on clothes, and good projection for that first hour. But one thing that you want to keep in mind is, and it's kind of with all these fragrances, that these are newer bottles, so they haven't had the time to mature. But one really, really positive thing about this is that it's a super cheapie. I'm talking about 18 bucks on Perfume Box, and for what you're getting, that's a killer deal. It might be a bit redundant if you already own something like Armaf's Odyssey, Mandarin Sky Elixir, or even the original. But if you don't, for 18 bucks, you can't go wrong with this one. So at my number 4 spot, I have King of Arabia. So I promise this is my last Fragrantica rant, but when this popped up online, I quickly looked it up on Fragrantica to see what it was cloning. It said it was a clone of Maison Crivelli's Infrarouge, and the notes that were listed did match that. So the notes that were listed on top, it said raspberry and bergamot. In the mid, it said cedarwood, orris, and osmanthus. And then in the base, it was leather, patchouli, and vanilla. I was like, this is going to be great. I don't have a clone of that fragrance, so let's pick it up. But when I got this one, I sprayed it, and the first thing you smell is a heavy dose of oud. And if you remember, there's no oud listed in the notes. So then I went online to find official notes from Lattafa, and luckily for this one, they had some. So the official notes on Lattafa's website were Indian oud and Cambodian oud on top. In the mid, you get ambergris, musk, saffron, and amber. The base notes are cloves, leather, and Thailand oud. So there are 3 kinds of oud in the actual notes, none of them listed on Fragrantica. This made a lot more sense to me because there's definitely oud in here, and this actually much closer to oud maracuja in my opinion than Infrarouge. So after I got over my disappointment of getting something that I wasn't expecting, I wanted to judge it for its own merit, and let me tell you, as far as a fragrance, this thing is fire. There's a ton of oud in here, but none of it is like harsh or animalic. It's very smooth, but this is definitely a mature dressed up scent. So there's definitely some fruits in here that's not listed in the notes. It might be that they took that raspberry from Infrarouge and they made a like hybrid between Oud Maracuja and Infrarouge. But still, much more Maison Crivelli's Oud Maracuja in this than you do get Queer Infrarouge. This is definitely a good performer right out of the box. 8+ hours on skin, strong projection for the first hour. This is a dense fall and winter fragrance, and this is definitely a good option if you don't have any other Oud Maracuja clones. But if you have something like Lattafa's own Art of Arabia, I think this is one, yeah, Art of Arabia 1, or Azur Oud by French Avenue, it's a bit redundant. Next up, we have Fire on Ice, which is Lattafa's take on Angel Share Parody by Kilian. Now, when you first look at this bottle, you're like, oh, it's a pretty standard bottle. But that Fire and Ice is represented. I don't know if you can see it in the... It's like a faux glass ice cube in there, which is really cool. Now, right off the bat, you're getting a boozy, spicy, and fruity fragrance. The fruit in here is raspberry, and it's quite prominent, and it is the standout note. And let me tell you, this thing smells amazing. I think that added fruit to that Angel Share DNA is what makes it like a fresher take. So notes-wise on top, you're getting cognac, cinnamon, and black raspberry. In the mid, you get, it's listed as frozen rose petals and caramel. I don't know what the heck frozen rose petals are. Honestly, it's just marketing BS. It's just rose. And in the base, you get oak wood, myrrh, and cedar wood. This thing feels rich, it feels attention-grabbing, and it feels surprisingly fresh. Now, I have gotten my nose on Paradis, and this is a fantastic take on that DNA. This thing is a woody, warm, sensual fragrance. Again, perfect for the colder months. Performance is good on this one, not great. I got about 7 hours. I think this one also might need to mature a little bit. Projection is good for the first hour, though. I also have French Avenue's Royal Blend Sequoia on the way. I think it actually arrives tomorrow. I'll reacquaint myself with the OG, then I'll sample this one and that one, and maybe I'll see which one does it better. Let's see. At my number 2 spot, I have Lattafa's Habik for men. This is a woody and aromatic fragrance, but you also get a healthy dose of spices in this one and some sweetness. This is a clone of JPG's La Mole Essence de Parfum. I've never smelt that fragrance because it's got discontinued a couple of years ago, so I can't tell you how close it is. But from everything I have read online from people who have smelt the original, this thing nails it. Either way, it smells amazing. The opening is like a blend of spices and citrus. You get cardamom, pepper, artemisia, and bergamot. In the mid, you get this like aromatic and warm layer with sage, lavender, cinnamon. And that cinnamon adds like that spicy sweetness to it. And as it dries down, you get this really masculine, rich base with sandalwood, patchouli, tonka bean, amberwood, and musk. This is like a spicy, sweet, woody fragrance that has like really rich and deep notes. It's perfectly blended. Also, no one aspect like overpowers any of the others. It's like a sophisticated and warm fragrance that's perfect for like cooler weather, so the upcoming months, evening wear. You can dress this one up as well. It's also important to note that Lattafa released a fragrance called Habik for women as well, and that's actually a clone of Versace's Dylan Purple. Don't pick up the wrong one because the presentation and the bottles both look really, really similar. Longevity is also decent on this. We're talking about 7 to 8 hours on skin, definitely longer on clothes. Projection is strong for that first hour or so. It creates a noticeable scent and bubble before it kind of transitions to a more moderate, closer to the skin scent. And out of all the 5 that I'm going through, I got this one the earliest, and this has already improved in the month or two I've had it, so I can see it improving even more. I think this is a great move from Lattafa. I hope that we see more of this from them. They tap into these beloved, amazing discontinued fragrances, giving like people the ability to discover or even rediscover fragrances that they can't get anymore. So the number 1 spot goes to Dynasty, and this one is a clone of El Red Tea Vetiver by Clive Christian. I have gotten my nose on the original and I love it. I love tea notes in fragrances. That's why I also love Amir, which is this one over here. This one is a town and country dupe. This has tea as well, but it's a very different tea than what you're getting in here. This one has this amazingly distinct rooibos tea, and Clive Christian has quickly become one of my favorite niche houses. They make these mature, unique, and sophisticated fragrances that are still super wearable. The issue with them and a lot of niche houses is the price. You're going to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for like these small 50 ml bottles. But thanks to houses like Lattafa and other Middle Eastern clone houses, that you can scratch that itch without emptying the bank account. So this one has this fresh opening. Good atomizer too. But it's spicy also, but oh man, right off the bat, you get that freshness with some spices and that tea. So the fresh and spicy notes include bergamot, ginger, nutmeg. Also, you get like this hint of raspberry. In the mid of the fragrance, you get that rooibos tea, the standout note, also this soft and supple suede. And then in the base, you get cashmere and amberwood. I think you could rock this in the fall as well. It does have a fresh opening, which lends towards warmer weather, but that leather, tea, and woods will allow it to work for the fall as well. You can also definitely dress this thing up. It'll work perfect with a suit and tie. Performance was also great right out of the box with this one. I got 8 to 9 hours on skin. Strong projection for that first hour. It does settle up to a bit more moderate fragrance after that, but that first hour, it does really pop. I love it when fragrance houses do this. They go after cloning a unique fragrance, not like the most trendy ones, but something that can stand out. This last year, the trend was the same across all the fragrance houses. You got all the main houses cloning the same things. You got like 10 Imagination clones. You got 10 Pacific Chill clones. You got 10 God of Fire clones. And I understand why they have to do this. They have to strike when the iron is hot on these really hot and trendy fragrances. Their competitors are going to do it. And honestly, some of those fragrances are great. Don't get me wrong. I want those as well. But I do love it when they do something like this. They find this amazing scent that no one else is cloning, and they give us an affordable version of it. So if you're looking for something that stands out, that's not like anything else on the market, this is the one to go with out of all of these. So there you have it, folks. That's 5 new fragrances from the House of Lattafa. These are my top 5 of their recent releases. Let me know in the comments which of these is your favorite, if you have any of them. And if it's not one of these, which one would you have included on the list? And if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like and subscribe button. Trying to grow the channel. Like I always say, every subscription counts. And as always, stay tuned for more affordable fragrance content. Until next time, I'm out.